insatiable hornball that is John Kirstein is officially explored in this week's episode of Attack on Titan Junior High. Prepare to get schooled in the ways of love, my friends, because this week's episode of Attack on Titan Junior High finally had an episode that focused on what I believe to be the funniest character of the series, John Kirstein. This character, who is so in love with himself, is definitely one of the funniest characters of the regular Attack on Titan series, and he fits perfectly at home in the wacky world of Attack on Titan Junior High. This episode was very simple, and unlike the previous ones, it features one single narrative going out through the entire story, which is Jean keeps getting these love letters in his locker, and throughout the whole course of the episode, you have to figure out who's writing them. And of course, as we go down the entire lineup of female characters, Jean keeps having all these weird, creepy fantasies about all of them, with all of them literally fighting over him. Yeah, it's pretty freaking ridiculous, and they pretty much go through all of the core female cast. Of course, we have Mikasa, and we know that's definitely not going anywhere with Jean. You know, it never worked in the original series. It's not gonna happen here. You have Krista, you have Ymir, you have freaking Sasha, the potato girl. Hell, even Rico is a candidate in this episode, which is pretty awesome. Personally, I'm a Rico man myself. And then, of course, we have Annie. Yes, Annie, who seems like the most obvious candidate, but she's actually a red herring. You see, there's a very big twist in this episode, and spoiler warning if you haven't seen it, it turns out the one who's been sending all of these love letters is actually a Titan. In fact, it's that one very distinctive Titan earlier on in the series which helped to devour a large chunk of Eren's team. That one weird, old, female-looking Titan, very strange-looking with the big, expressive eyes. This is the one that's got the hots for Jean, and when, of course, he figures this out, he does everything in his power to try and cover it up. He even goes as far as to try and make it seem as if the Titan is just a regular human girl, but of course, that's not going to fly with everybody. They're not going to take any of John's bullshit. The good news is, John's bullshit is actually what makes this episode funny. His overconfidence, his super stylistic and new slick hairdo, all of the creepy fantasies he has about the female characters of the series, and then, of course, him getting his ass handed to him by this female Titan at the end of this episode, who constantly pounds him in the playground dirt, vowing that she will try to make Jean fall in love with her again. It's a weird episode. It's all obviously leading up to a ridiculous joke, and that's pretty much the premise of this episode. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Attack on Titan Junior High? This was my favorite episode thus far. You want to know why? Because it was completely original. Yeah, there were callbacks to the Attack on Titan series by using that one female Titan, but what they did was they took a character, they took their personality traits, and they just had fun with them. They went crazy with them. This is not like a remarkable story at all. In fact, this is a story that's been told like in all types of movies, TV shows, cartoons, and various animes about someone getting love letters and they actually end up being from someone else, or it's like some sort of mistake. We knew that was going to happen. However, this was a case of the journey being the best part, not exactly the destination. We all knew that there was going to be a twist, but getting to see his reactions to every female character that walks in the classroom is certainly one of the biggest treats of this episode. And of course, it's just great to see him picture these different female characters in ways that we've never actually seen them before. And if you liked the confrontations between Mikasa and Annie in the previous episodes of Junior High, you're gonna love them in these episodes. They are absolutely fantastic. On the technical side of things, this episode looked quite nice, actually. Very clean and consistent, with a lot of bombastic movements and hilarious expressions from Jean himself, who, like I said, just continues to make me crack up. I cannot wait to see him return in the brand new second season, but I really do think he fits perfectly right here in Attack on Titan Junior High. The whole show is really starting to grow on me, honestly, and, you know, before I would always say that this is a series that maybe will only appeal to Attack on Titan fans, this episode right here is a slightly more universal. I think more people could probably find this one funny, but Attack on Titan fans are certainly going to love it because there are multiple callbacks to a lot of different things from the series, just little things, you know. They always focus on that one couple who are just like madly in love with each other. They always have hearts emanating from their body, and it continues to be funny because if you're a fan of the series, you know that they die a grisly death. And therein lies the humor of Attack on Titan Junior High, taking something that's really messed up and kind of dark and turning it into something that's really funny and lighthearted. And so far, I think it's doing a pretty good job of that. Considering I'm not a very big fan of comedy anime, I'm shocked that I'm enjoying this as much as I am. What I will say is, I like this episode. I still don't think it's perfect. I don't think there's a perfect episode of Attack on Titan Junior High quite yet, but I really enjoyed this one and got a lot of laughs out of it. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was really entertaining, and if you love Attack on Titan, check out this series. You're totally going to get some laughs from this one. They really have a lot of fun with the characters in this episode. And there's a funny plot twist at the end. So check it out. Pretty good episode. I liked it. But I want to hear from you guys. Did you watch this week's episode of Attack on Titan Junior High? Did you have a favorite moment? A favorite character who showed up? Did you call the twist in this week's episode? And what do you want to see from the rest of Attack on Titan Junior High? Please tell me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. That way you can see all of our awesome anime and manga reviews, as well as our weekly podcast show. It's pretty awesome. You guys can also follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!